Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another award-winning edition of the Locker Room Chat. And yes, you're looking live. This is not pre-recorded. This is not a Memorex. But we're back. My name is John Williams, joined by my co-host Matt Hagan on the end. And we're pleased to have with us tonight our special guest, the new head basketball coach for the Oliver Springs boys team, Wesley Rather. Wesley, congratulations and thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you guys for inviting me. I'm looking to get as much media coverage for the program as we can, and like I've told everybody that's reached out to me, anytime that you want to give me a call, I will certainly pick it up and speak to you and provide any information that you guys need. So thank you guys for having me.
Well, we certainly thank you for being here tonight, and once again, congratulations on being named the new head coach for the Bobcats boys basketball team. Principal Justin Nivens named you last week, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it sort of went under the radar a little bit because you had the announcement at Anderson County High School.
You hire Lady Vol, man. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of thunder away. But that's okay. That's okay. We done a little press conference and it was good. And I've heard a lot of positive things from the community, and we're certainly looking forward to getting started.
Right, Nikki Anasicki being named at Anderson County for their girls, and I was watching a video of that last week, and I came across your interview Brad had on BBB. TV 12, Channel 12, saw your interview on that, so I thought it'd be good to get you on here and let you talk about the Bobcats a little bit. But first, we're in this COVID-19 pandemic. How you been? And also Matt as well. How y'all been handling this?
I've been good. Fortunately, I've had plenty to do. Me and my wife, we're selling our house and we're about to start building. So I've actually just been taking down every tree that I can see. I've cut down 22 trees in the last month or so, and in normal times I probably would have cut down 2 or 3. So I've been cutting down trees, and me and my assistant coach, we actually have completely ripped apart the locker room in the last 3 days, and everything that was in the locker room is currently now in the gym, and so we're going to spend the next couple of weeks putting that back together. So just finding ways to stay busy, and hopefully when the kids get back and we're all back to normal, they come to a nice new, fresh-looking locker room. So,
right, there's plenty to do around the house.
Plenty to do around the house. Yeah, my wife is pregnant with twins, and she's getting pretty far along. So I'm having to step my game up a little bit and help her out.
Wow, congratulations on that.
Thank you, 2 twin girls.
I just found out, you're married to the former Kayla Christopher.
Yeah, we don't play horse often. I was a decent player, but she was very good, and so hopefully our girls will want to get into basketball. If not, that's okay though.
All right. What about yourself, Matt? How you been?
Thankfully, I've been working from home for the most part, but doing a little bit of stuff around Clinton, going over to the high school, looking at how the facilities are shaping up over at Clinton. But I've been looking, when you were first hired, been looking at that, on how you're going to change this program. Are you going to be able, just thinking, how is the program going to change? What are some of your goals right now?
Well, one thing that we're definitely going to change, and it's not really that I'm going to necessarily change anything that's been done in the past. That's not the way that I'm looking at it. I just want to do what I think gives Oliver Springs the best opportunity to win. And it's going to start with defense and rebounding, and just a culture change. I think the young men in the program, we need to start believing. We need to start believing in each other and what we're doing. It doesn't matter what you do offensively, what you do defensively. If there's not buy-in and if there's not confidence within the team, the 5 on the floor got to believe in each other, trust in each other, and trust in the coaching staff, and execute. Anything can work if you run it correctly. So it's going to be more about changing the young men in the program's mindset and the way that we approach the way that we approach practice every day. And one of the sayings that I want the boys to really buy into is, let's have fun working hard. That's one of the big things that I'm going to push on these kids. Like, if you want to be good at anything, you have to work hard. And you can have a fantastic time doing it. I'm going to have a good time. I like to have a good time. I'm a pretty upbeat person. And, you know, the kids are either going to have a good time and play hard, or they're not going to be a part of the program, because that's the way that I want to do it. And I think it'll be the best thing. I think it'll give us the best chance to win if we believe in each other, believe in the coaching staff, and build some confidence. You know, and not only believe in each other, we need to believe in ourselves, because we're good enough to compete. There's no reason that we should sit at the bottom of this district moving forward, and I don't believe that we will. If I thought that was the long-term future for Oliver Springs, there's no way that I would have taken the job, because nobody likes to lose. And I know the boys in the program don't like to lose. We've just got used to losing, and it's a hard thing to break once you get used to losing, because when you're down 10, you just, here it goes again, you know, and that is something that we have to break out of. And we've been young. In my opinion, that's not really an excuse for us anymore. We're going to be a junior-heavy team. And now we will still be young across the board compared to most teams in our district. But we've got some boys that have a lot of high school playing experience, and I think we're ready to surprise some people this year.
Have you been able to talk to your team so far?
I have not been able to talk to them in person, no, but I'm encouraged. We've got some news today from TSSAA, and I'm encouraged, and I hope I'm not speaking out of place on this, because I don't make the decisions. This is going to come from our athletic director and the county athletic director, and they know much more about it than I do. And I'll support whatever decision is made. But I'm hoping soon that we're going to be able to get into the gym with less than 10 people, and we'll start running 2 practices. You know, we might run 7 and 7 or 8 and 8. I don't know exactly how it'll look, you know, because you haven't even really had summer tryouts yet. You know, who's going to play with the team in the summer? That's something that I know all the other coaches are struggling with as well. You know, you got that kid who might not have played the last 2 years, but wants to play this year, or might not have played last year, and it's a challenge. But I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks that we can get all that worked out and get some bodies in the gym and talk to some people and have a little semi-tryout and get the ball rolling for the summer.
Yeah, Matt, with this pandemic going on, I can see you haven't been to the barber shop.
No,
lately.
not quite.
You're about ready to go back. You got a beard growing out and getting the hair down there a little bit. So
Yeah, just a little bit.
May 1st, you can go get your hair cut again.
Get close. My hair's long for me right now as well. It's too long.
Right.
Yeah,
Luck-
we just got to hope that everything opens May 1st.
Right. Luckily, I had my hair cut right before this all went down, but don't have much to worry about there anyway.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was just going to talk to you about the social distancing, not being able to be with your team, and you touched on that, and
Right.
that makes it extremely tough as for a new coach coming in. Of course, you've been an assistant coach for the past 3 years. If you would, you just talk about your coaching experience and your playing experience.
Okay. Well, coaching experience, this will be my 3rd year, and I've been an assistant coach. This is my first head coaching position, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. I got into coaching to eventually be the head coach. You know, some people want to continue to be an assistant coach their entire career. There's nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't a goal of mine. So I coached JV, you know, last couple of years, and I guess you're kind of the head coach of that program. But as far as running the show and being the person accountable at the top, this is my first go around with that.
Okay, what you mentioned earlier before we come on there, you played at Oliver Springs.
I did. I played at Oliver Springs from, I guess, 2007 to 2010, and have good memories there as a player.
All-state player.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to play with some really good guys too. We had 2 or 3 guys that could really play, and then the rest of the people on the team were fine with their roles. You know, honestly, my sophomore and my junior year, we were a lot better team. When we walked off the bus, we looked a lot better than we did my senior year. But we just had great chemistry, and Yeah, it was fun. We made a little run to the state tournament, and I was fortunate enough to have a good year and stay healthy, and played for a great coach, and we had fantastic support throughout the run. I can remember just, playing in a packed gym every night, and it's fun. Terry Hacker Gym is a fun place to be when it's rowdy, and the community will come out and support, and that's one of the things that has been not frustration at the fan base, just frustrating in general, that we just, we haven't been very good though, and we haven't been competitive, and I don't go watch bad basketball either, so that's up to me to try to change that, and I think we can, and we've got the kid. I think we've got enough kids to do it, and I would like for those young men in the program to have a similar experience and get to see what that feels like to play in a packed house and in a game that means something. So I was fortunate enough to play in quite a few of those games, and I want these young men to have the same chance.
Yeah, it's definitely a home court advantage there at
It is.
Terry Hackler Gym.
It certainly is, and it might not be around much longer. We've got a school approval, and Terry Hacker Gym will be one of the things that go.
I really have about building a new school.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Who knows? It could get canceled tomorrow, but as of now, the word on the street is we've got a couple.
You're talking about the consolidation possibly?
Oliver Springs moving into the middle school. Possibly. This is all up in the air and kind of above my head, to be honest with you.
Well, I'd much prefer that than I don't like the idea of consolidating the schools there in Roane County.
Right. Yeah, we sure like our community school, and I think that we have a great chance of staying around. But they're definitely not going to build a gym like the gym that we currently have in now if that plan does go forward, because they just don't build gyms like that anymore. I mean, your feet are right here and the court's right there. And when it's a packed house, it's a tough place to play. And I would like to see us get back to that point in the next couple of years.
What about it? Did you play any in college?
I did not. I had opportunities to basically pay to play. I had opportunities to play at 2 or 3 local schools around. I wasn't good enough to get a full ride anywhere though, so I decided not to go pay and play. And I was a little burnt out, but no, I did not play college basketball.
Well, we're going to take our first break. We're on with the new head basketball coach, Oliver Springs High School, Wesley Rather. And you're watching the Locker Room Chat, and we'll be back here in a few moments.
Accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
At Earl F. Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews and come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, choose the 2020 Outback with financing as low as 0.9% at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
I was out with some friends. Nothing crazy. I was just out for some dinner. The pain was excruciating. It was like someone poured liquid hot magma into my mouth. That pizza was way too hot. I couldn't even enjoy my leftovers. Somebody's got to pay.
If you've been injured, call us and let us turn your wreck into a check.
Really? Again?
Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well,
And if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
you don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat, and we're pleased to have with us tonight the new head basketball coach for the Oliver Springs boys team, Wesley Rather. And Wesley, you're taking over for Coach Brian Chanel.
Yes.
And you're assistant coach the past 3 years for the Bobcats. And let's just get in a little bit the education at Oliver Springs. I know you're on the staff.
I am, yes, sir. Yep.
What subject do you teach?
I teach a little bit of everything. I'm in the business, subject. I teach personal finance. I teach. I developed a yearbook. I don't do much of it, to be honest with you. I have a great group of yearbook staff members every year, and they do the majority of the work, and I just kind of organize it and push people in the right direction. And I teach computer apps, advanced computer apps, and one semester I teach a statewide dual credit intro to business course, and the kids have an opportunity to gain college credit if they pass the exam. So I teach 4 or 5 different subjects depending on the semester.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been at Oliver Springs?
This is my second year. This is my second year being a teacher at Oliver Springs. I kind of changed careers at about, I guess, 24 or 25. I went back to school and got my master's in education. I used to work in accounting, and it just didn't really fit my personality. Sitting behind a desk 40, 50 hours a week was tough for me. So got married and switched jobs, and I've been happier since. So,
what is it about the Oliver Springs community? I know you went to school there, but
Certainly.
What's it that attracts you or that should attract other people to go there?
If you don't necessarily have to win. We all love to win, okay? And Oliver Springs community loves to win, but they'll support you as long as you're playing hard. If you're doing the best you can for the kids, if you're a player, if you're playing as hard as you can. One thing that I always tell people is everybody's like, well, it's rough going to Oliver Springs. I mean, the fans are a little crazy. I'm like, well, not if they're on your side. If they're on your side, they're not that crazy. You kind of like it. And as a player, Oliver Springs fans aren't stupid. Not everybody knows exactly what's going on, but they can recognize effort and energy, and they can tell if you are buying in or not. And if you're doing those things, you don't have to go 30-0. They'll come support you if you are doing the right things, playing the right way, and competing every night. So it's a fun program and a fun community to be a part of. It's small. Everybody knows everybody. And, Oliver Springs likes a winner. If you're winning and you're putting a good product on the floor, you will see fantastic support, in my opinion. It's a great place to play, and I think it's going to be a great place to be a head coach.
What about, how are you with dual sports? What would you want to say to your players about playing in multiple sports?
Play them all. Play them all. Play as many as you can. I've played multiple sports. It's just, but one thing that I would encourage, if you're going to play 2, give everything you got in 2. Okay? Don't sell one of them short because you've got teammates on both teams. But if you want to play 3, play 3. There's kids that do it every day. we're in a small community, small school. We got to share athletes. I want the football players playing basketball. I want the baseball players playing basketball. So I couldn't, ever encourage a kid not to participate in another sport. We've got 250 kids in the school.
Yeah.
So cut that in half. That's 125 boys. Cut that by a quarter or a third are your athletes. So, you're talking 30 or 40 kids trying to field 3 major sports teams. We have to share the same kids. It's just part of it.
Right. Oliver Springs, this is a great community. Terrific support. I've been to a few games, and it's past tradition, especially on the basketball side. I can remember some teams in the late 90s went to the state tournament.
Certainly. Those are the teams that I remember growing up. Those are the teams that I was born in 91, and those are the first recollection. That's the first recollection of Oliver Springs basketball that I have, is that 97, 98 team, and even the 97, 96 team. I remember them, and I remember those guys. You got Travis Williams, John Green, Craig Price, Chris White, the other White brothers, Brian Stewart, who was the coach over at South Doyle. He was a very good player at Oliver Springs. There's been a lot of good players that have came through the program, and we've created a lot of good memories. There were some great teams in the 80s as well. There was good teams in the 90s and the 2000s. So we've been down for a little bit, but we're not too far gone. We can get back to being competitive in the district.
Right, a lot of tradition at Oliver Springs. What style of play do you like to play, Coach?
Well, we're going to be a man-to-man team. We're going to be man-to-man, and I don't care to talk about it too much. There's phenomenal coaches, first of all, in this district, and I'm not just saying that to say it. There's great coaches. Everybody you play against is very well prepared. So I could try to keep some big secret, but I'm going to play 3 ball games, and everybody in the district's going to know what we're going to do anyways. So we're going to play up the line, on the line, man-to-man. We're going to switch everything and try to force people to the baseline. And offensively, I'm not going to really get into too much of that, but we're going to run a motion with some sets out of it. And I'm going to try to challenge a couple of kids on the team to be the best defensive players in the district, because I think they have the ability. We got some kids that got some nice length. We're not overly big, but we're big enough. And we've got to win on the defensive end, and we have to box out and rebound if we want to win ball games. And I'm not a coach that personally wants to play in the 70s. I'd like to stay out of the 60s, really. Our goal defensively is going to be to give up 13 points a quarter. That's 52 points a game, and I wouldn't mind to beat people 52 to 58 every night. I don't want to run up and down the floor and play in the 80s, because I feel like that style of play can come and go. And I think defense travels, and it's consistent. Now, if we score 70 points, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to go out and run and gun and try to score 70, 80 points every night to beat somebody. So.
Right. You talked about the coaches in the district. It's a really competitive district. It's a tough district. This year you had Oneida Indians qualified with the state tournament. Harriman Blue Devils, coached by Shay Shannon, made it to the sub-state.
And they do a great job at Harriman, in my opinion. They play above their talent every single night. And I've been impressed with Shay since I've started watching his teams. He's got a great assistant coaching staff down there. He just lost one. Denard just took the midway job.
I was fixing to mention that. Denard Bertram taking a midway job.
Which makes the district even more competitive, in my opinion. He's been around the game for a long time. I remember knowing Denard as a kid. And he's coached a lot of ball, and I know that he's got a good plan. He'll do a great job at Midway. They're lucky to have him.
Right. Talk about some of your returning players this year for the Bobcats.
Well, I don't want to get into any players specifically, just because I don't want to, I'd be bad to leave somebody out and all that stuff. But we've got enough. We return a lot. We lost 3 kids.
A lot of juniors coming back.
We do. We do have a lot of juniors, and we got some kids that can play, and we just need to build confidence. We have to believe, John, that when we walk on the floor, we can win. We have to believe that. I don't think it's a talent issue with us. I think it's a between the ears, and I think it's a mental toughness and just believing in themselves and in what we're doing. And if we do that, we've got enough. I mean, we're not playing Michael Jordan in our district every night. It's competitive, and we're all very evenly matched. Top to bottom, in my opinion, there's a few teams that stand above the crowd a little bit talent-wise, but everybody else, I mean, we're fighting. Mm-hmm. We're fighting for standings in the district, and if we get the kids to believe and play hard, we'll be just fine.
Coach, what are some of your favorite memories, not only as a player but as a coach at Oliver Springs?
Well, as a player, it was, obviously making the state tournament. We went up to Hampton. We started that year. We didn't play with our starting five till after Christmas. We just had a lot of injuries and freak accidents. Had two people break bones, and one of our best players had mono. It was just we just did not get to play together until Christmas, and we just battled, man. Just the whole grind of that year was a blast. We had great guys on the team. Everybody, you didn't have to beg nobody to play hard. Everybody loved each other. They didn't matter. They didn't care if I scored 30, if Big scored 30, if Rue scored. They didn't care. No one on the team was selfish, and it was just a great group of guys to play with. And Coach Ingram, our coach, just pushed the right buttons at the right time. We changed quite a few things up going into play Hampton. And you talk about a gym. You ever been to Hampton?
I've heard about it.
It's crazy. It's Oliver Springs.
Right.
It's Oliver Springs on steroids because it's just as tight as Oliver Springs is, but it's 2 floors. And so you got a floor here, and then it's just stacked right on top of the other one. And you look up and you feel like they're just right on top of you. It was a very unique place to play.
Right up. Chase Clem was telling us about it. He did the play-by-play, and Harriman went there for the sub-state game this year, and he was talking about it. And,
That's another gym that if it ever goes, you won't ever see another one like it because it's a funky gym, man. They're right on top of you, and you can pack a lot of people in it.
Then you said you guys went to state. I'm an MTSU grad. What does it mean to play in the Glass House?
Oh, it was so fun. It was a great experience. I wish we could have won. I wish we could have went down there and stole a game. We literally only made it to the state tournament because we did not turn the ball over. We didn't give you the ball. And we averaged 10, 12 turnovers a game, something like that. And we went down there and turned it over off the top of my head in the mid-20s and got beat by 6 points. We just went down there and laid an egg. I think we got beat 50-44. And, you turn it over 25 times, you're leaving a lot of points out there that could be yours. And so it's one of those ones. It was a great experience. And everybody says this, you always want your last one back. And that's one that I wish that we could have back because I think we could at least won a game. But it was phenomenal.
Talk a little bit about your coaching staff. I saw where you named Tyler Harper as
certainly
one of your assistant coaches, and I know his father, David.
Yeah.
And so I know it's a good family. Talk a little bit about your coaching staff.
Great family. Known them my whole life. I'm talking like my dad and his dad and my mom and his mom were friends growing up, and me and Tyler just happened to go to school at the same time, and we've been best friends since we were in kindergarten, and still are to this day. And
has he been coaching?
He has. He coaches. He is the head football coach at Oliver Springs Middle School. I think this is his 3rd year as the head coach, and he's been on staff with the high school for, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but 6, 7 years, maybe longer than that. Time flies. I think he's 27. I think he started when he was 20, so maybe he just completed his 7th year. Mm-hmm. He's sharp, man. I played with him. He was a phenomenal player and just a guy that has an extremely high, in my opinion, basketball IQ. Sees things. He'll catch things that I won't catch. I can promise you that. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm coaching, and I couldn't imagine having anybody else on the bench with me, I guess is the best way to say it. And I thought he was going to tell me no because, he's a head middle school coach. He teaches, and, he's got a girlfriend, and he's busy. He's a busy man. And I called him expecting to get told no, and he said, let me think about it. And pretty much the next day, I don't even know if he waited the next day. I think we talked later on that night, and he was like, man, I can do it. My program, if I make it to the title game, I'm done in November. I can swing it. And one thing that he said to me that I'll never forget is he was like, we may never get this opportunity again, to coach together. Because Mr. Nivens and administration, they stuck their neck out for me. I don't have any head coaching experience, but they believed in the vision that I have for the program, and they gave me the latitude to hire an assistant coach who has zero head coaching experience at the high school level either. But you've got to start somewhere, and I feel like we have a great chance to be a good coaching staff together.
Right, I can tell you got the passion and the competitiveness to be a good coach there at Oliver Springs. You played there, and it's always good when you have a former player come back and coach, and I think that's great. And but I know Tyler's dad, David.
Oh yeah,
David Harper. I played a little softball with him, basketball, and he could really hit a softball. I'll tell you what.
He probably still could. He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
He probably still could hit a softball if he wanted to.
What about middle school coach Sam Ballou?
Oh yeah,
Did you play
Sam.
for Sam?
Sam was the girls' coach. My wife actually played for Sam.
He was the girls.
He was the girls' coach. Great guy. He's still around the community. I'll probably be calling him to ref some games if we're ever able to get this summer basketball going. We're going to have some play days at the high school, and I'll probably give him a call to see if he wants to come ref. And he's a good guy. He's still around, and he had a phenomenal coaching record at the middle school for 20 plus years. I mean, he's just a good guy, still around.
Played a lot of softball with him.
Oh yeah.
We used to call him Dusty Rhodes. He had that long blonde curly hair.
Yeah. he kept it permed and looking good, didn't he? He did.
So, Coach, what is a piece of advice that you've gotten over the years that you're going to take with you and translate to your team?
As far as basketball-wise?
Anything. Basketball, life.
Well, basketball-wise, I think that to be successful, you've got to be tough, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be physical. In any order that you want to put those things in. Everybody can shoot. I mean, if you're playing high school varsity basketball, I mean, people can shoot, people can dribble, people have skill. This isn't rec league. Not everybody has toughness. Not everybody is aggressive, and not everybody wants to be physical. And to be a successful basketball program, I think you've got to have those three things that are part of your culture. And I heard that from multiple coaches that I've talked to, and it's just something I believe in personally as well as a former player. It takes no talent to have good effort, and you just fall in love with working hard. Fall in love with working hard and have a good time doing it. Working hard and bringing energy and effort every day and loving to play the game it takes zero talent to do those things. But you can get great results from just bringing the right attitude and energy to practice every day. So,
well, Coach Rather, we appreciate you coming on tonight. Before you get off here, me and Matt are Clinton guys, and you have any, Coach Lockard?
I do. I don't know him personally, but we played Clinton whenever I was in school. I think 1 year, and I remember him as a player. And we've crossed paths as I've been a coach the last few years. Yeah, I know him. He's a good guy.
I was going to say, he was going to try to maybe get them on the schedule. Just a little story. I know they used to play pretty much home and home, but back in the early 90s, there was a game at Oliver Springs, Clinton, and they had a little scuffle, we'll call it, or whatever.
Right.
And that's probably right around the time you were born.
Okay.
But I wasn't even actually at that game, if anybody believes that. But I actually missed it. But they had a little scuffle, but ever since then, they've really not played each other. You mentioned y'all played.
We played. I think
Right.
Maybe in the summer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe up at Tennessee Tech or something like that. We ran into them a couple of times because I knew a few guys from Clinton. And we certainly played each other. I can't remember if it was regular season.
Right.
I've been out of school 10 years, man. You got to give me a break. We're going
Right, yeah. But this ain't be good to maybe get that rivalry.
I would be open to
renewed.
that. I would be open to that. Certainly, it's sometimes it's hard to fill a schedule, and I'll take a phone call from anybody.
Take
Yeah,
a
let's-
call, Matt.
Yeah, as soon as you speak about it, it looks like we get 2 phone calls, so we're going to take the first ones right now.
That'll work.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out and say that Oliver Springs has found the right guy to lead the program at Oliver Springs. I'm just excited to see you as the head man.
Hey, well, I know this number. When that one popped up, actually, I didn't even have to look at the name. This is Coach Ingram. I appreciate you calling in, and great to hear from you, man. This has been a guy that I've kind of leaned on through this process, and calls, texts. He does a fantastic job of keeping in touch with his former players, and he's one of those guys that whenever he says, if you ever need anything or if there's any way that I can ever help you, a lot of people say those things and don't always follow through. He is, and I hope that I'm as consistent as he has been with me personally with players moving forward, because whenever he has told me if I ever need anything, he's meant it, and that means a lot to me personally.
I was going to say, you talk about buying in, and you wonder if it's coach talk. Well, I can say right now, as a coach, seeing you as a player, you were a player that bought in. You talk about hard work. So one example of you is you would run the ones, and then it was time for you to take a break and let the twos come on and run the play. You begged to go back in and guard the twos to let everybody know that, hey, you got to make them better. So you talk about hard work, having fun, working hard. I mean, let me tell you right now, if the coach does it, he should expect it from his players. So like I said, I think that, you definitely demonstrated those things you're asking the players to do. So I'm excited that, I'm hoping these players do what you ask, because I'm telling you, you want a leader, right there you are.
I appreciate that, Coach. We're looking forward to it. I hope to see you around the gym.
All right, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
See you.
That one, your former coach?
Yeah, that's the guy who coached me, head coach whenever I was in school. Great guy, Tony Ingram. He's actually his son. I wish I could talk him in to bring this boy down to play. He's got a little bit of skill. He's a pretty good player. Coach Ingram is actually now at Webb, and he coaches basketball over there.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yeah, his son's got a chance to be a really good high school player. And I wish him the best of luck moving forward. Yeah.
Actually, looks like we got a second caller, so let's see.
Okay.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Felipe.
This is Anthony. What you say, Anthony?
Hey, when we going to play Oliver Springs?
When we're going to play Oliver Springs? Well, we're talking to Coach Rather about that.
We're working on it. We're trying to get it figured out, man.
We'd like to see that series rivalry get renewed.
Hey, if they bring a lot of fans, we'll play anybody.
Oh, Clinton will bring the fans.
Yeah, hey, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anthony, you got any other comments?
No, that's all.
Well, thank you for calling in.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll let Sleepy introduce him. So,
Yeah, it was Anthony Hinkle. Everybody knows him as Anthony. He's one of those people who's got the one
I
name,
understand. You just say Anthony and everybody knows who you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Right.
I got you.
oh, yeah, that's right. If you can pull up that screen
yeah.
for us, here you go. You know which one your own play.
Bailey Russell. Happy 18th birthday, Bailey. Stay out of trouble, buddy.
Right. Thank you, Dylan, for reminding me. Yeah, we had Bailey Russell. We had him on back in the fall with some of his teammates.
Yeah,
and
great player.
Right, that kid, I think he led Oliver Springs in tackles.
At 160 pounds.
Right.
And just you talk about being tough, physical, and aggressive. That's a kid that was tough, physical,
Right,
and aggressive every night.
And brought it, like you're saying. effort, bring it every day.
Every day, man. Yeah, I had him in class a couple times too. Great kid. Got a good relationship with him. Wish him the best moving forward.
Well, Coach Rather, once again, we thank you for being on with us, and wish you the best of luck at Oliver Springs.
Thank
and,
you. Thank you.
Hope to get down and catch some of your games this season.
Great. Hey,
maybe
anytime.
have you back on this. Bring some of your players in.
That'd be awesome. Hopefully we're playing. We'd like to make the region tournament, so if we're playing at that time of the year, we'd love to come back in and sit down and talk to you guys. And anytime you want to give us coverage, we'll take it. And I'll come over anytime you guys call. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you. So we're going to take another break, and we've been on with the new Oliver Springs head basketball coach, Wesley Rather, and we appreciate him coming in. We're going to step off and take a break, so we'll be back in a little bit.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
All I could think about was the pain. I thought I was dying. One minute, I'm eating a delicious ice cream sundae. Next minute, my brain starts exploding. Couldn't even finish my ice cream. They shouldn't be allowed to make ice cream that cold. Someone has to pay.
If you've been injured, call us and let us turn your wreck into a check.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
At Earl Duff Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews, then come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, choose the 2020 Outback with financing as low as 0.9% at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Welcome back to the locker room chat. We have another call.
Caller, you're on the air.
All right.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Clayfish, Psycho B.
Is this Psycho B, Brandon Frazier?
Sure is.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling in, Brandon. You got a little wrestling coming up here next month. If you would talk about that.
Well, it's June 6th in Marion County, Tennessee, and we got pushed back because of the coronavirus, and the original show was supposed to be April 25th, and so we moved it to June 6th, and hopefully with everything reopening, and we can get the show moving on June the 6th.
Okay, is this the Aaron Douglas?
No, this is a show that I'm helping a guy in Macon County run. It's Jokers and Promotions. I'm the Aaron Douglas Memorial. That date is to be determined.
I came to that memorial. I think it wasn't last year, maybe the year before last. And I really enjoyed that. And this year, this wrestling on June the 6th, is it?
Yes, June the 6th.
It'll be at the Meigs County High School, correct?
Yeah, Meigs County High School.
And it's at 7 o'clock?
Bell time 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30.
Now, is it the proceeds going to any charity or anything?
I think some of them are going to charity and some of them are going to the Meigs County football team, but this show is, it's going to be a blast. You're going to have former WWE superstars in this show. You're going to get to see, your Knoxville's local hometown hero, Psycho Beast. That's a big plus right there.
That's a treat in itself.
Yeah.
Who's some of the WWE stars?
As of right now, the one I've heard is Dirty Dutch Mantel. So that's a big one right there. And then there's some other surprises in there. So and it's run by former WCW Golden Boy Joe Kazana.
This is WCW, right?
Yeah, former WCW. And he did a few things for WWF back in the day, but...
And who's putting this on?
His name is Joe Kazana.
Joe Kazano.
And it's Joe Kazana Promotions.
Well, he must be pretty good. He got you out of retirement.
Oh, yeah. He knows how to push the button.
Have you done any more wrestling since the Aaron Douglas Memorial a few years ago?
No, I've done a few commentary jobs, stuff like that, ring announcing, but I hadn't actually got back in the ring just yet.
Well, that's I'm glad to see you back. I really enjoyed it there a few years ago, and I'll definitely be there. And anyone out there wants to come out to this wrestling, it's pretty, if you're not seeing it live, it's pretty entertaining. And Brandon Frazier here on the air with us, Psycho B, does a great job, and should be a good night there at Meigs County High School on June the 6th. I'll try to keep giving that information out, and people might want to make that trek down Highway 58. Matt, have you seen any wrestling?
Not any of this one.
Not seen any?
No.
Before, or any local wrestling? Or?
Not local wrestling.
Well, it's worth the price of admission. I know Freddie Fagan will be excited. He's already talking about it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Freddie called me the other day, and he said, "When am I going to buy this fighting pants?"
Right. Yeah. Well, Brandon, we thank you for calling in, and
well, I appreciate it. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, call us back in. Call us back up. It gets a little bit closer to that date, and
all righty.
I'm sure to get that out.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It's better live than it is watching on TV, I think. But
yeah, I've got some friends who used to do some of that, but I never got to go see them live. And you said you've got some information from TSSAA that you were wanting to read earlier.
Yeah, I read in the paper today. They're having a meeting I think it's coming up in June, the 1st of June, and the main thing on the board is the classification of football. And right now, the summer activities, nothing has been released for the football coaches. They're sort of waiting to see when they can get back out on the field and the facilities. But I thought it was pretty neat. Like the coaches are able to do Zoom and Skype with their players and coaches, and they can instill their offensive and defensive schemes. I thought that was pretty interesting, just the virtual.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Coach Keith earlier about that, and he said yesterday he had about 3 or 4 dozen players in one meeting with him learning, and you could see them taking the notes while he was talking to them. So he was happy about doing that. It was something new for him as well.
Right, I know new coaches like Coach Rather coming in basketball, and you got Coach Keith, new coach coming in, sort of puts them behind the 8 ball a little bit. Not able to work with your kids, but I heard Coach Keith yesterday on the interview on WYSH. He said he thought it sort of levels the playing field a little bit too, though, as far as like teams that may be ahead of other teams, like Clinton's trying to gain ground, but he thought it might level the playing field with some of those other schools, whereas they're not able to get out and work either right now. So from that standpoint, I could see that.
And you were talking about his interview yesterday over at WYSH. If you were listening to it, did you hear one of the phone calls that he had talking to him?
Oh, yeah, the chief. Uh-huh.
One of his former coaches.
John Chavis called in.
He called in, and Coach Keith said that meant the world to him, knowing that John Chavis actually wanted to connect with him almost as much as it probably meant to Coach Chavis, knowing that one of his former proteges is now here. Right. And you were talking about the reclassification. Yeah, make sure to mention that that's not going to happen. It's not going to reclassify for this coming fall. It's going to be for the next season, just to make sure everybody's aware of that one so no one thinks the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's for the 2021 season. So they're usually a year ahead on that, but I didn't know if they would be able to meet face-to-face in June, if they have to do it over the phone or something like that. If not, it'll be like 1st of July. But yeah, classification will be on the board. Some of the things that we're looking at will be like adding a 4th class in baseball, football, basketball, and softball. Right now in football, you already have 5 or 6 classes.
6 classes.
I guess it's just in the baseball and basketball and softball, adding a fourth classification. What's your thoughts on that?
There's so many teams now, especially with these new schools. If you watch TWSAA, they talk about the new schools trying to come in. There's so many schools now, they almost have to expand one way or the other. And it may actually make it a little bit more of an even playing field for each program.
Right. I know they've talked about that. Jody Wright, he's been on the show here, and he's a member of the Board of Control, TWSAA. He's talked about adding a 4th class for basketball, and it seemed like it sort of met some resistance out in West Tennessee because there's not as many schools, and it would cause them to have more travel. But we'll see how that goes. It's interesting. Also, they're talking about maybe adding a 5th classification in all sports, which is sort of unlikely. That way, if they did that, they've had all the district and regions would be the same like they have now.
I could see that happening. It has worked for the most part in football, making it about even to where you know easily who's going where. You don't have to worry about, okay, if I finish here, who am I going to play? You'll know who you're going to play.
But Bernard Childress, head of the TWSAA, he said that was probably unlikely that would happen. They're also looking at going to 5 classes and just football only.
It's like it was back when I was in school where it was 5. To me, I like having the 6 classifications because I was looking at the enrollment earlier for the since they are going to do the reclassification next year, if you have 6, there's going to be a broader span between the smallest 6A school and the largest. Right now, the smallest 6A school has 1,500 plus students, and the largest has over 2,000. Now think if you drop it down to 5 classes, it could be 1,300 to 2,000. It's going to be just a
bigger disparity.
Yeah, that could affect how the games are played too. Which team has the more athletes? Just because you have more people in the schools. I don't see them dropping back down to 5 classes though.
I think right now there's 9 total counting.
Yeah,
counting the private, and a lot of people say, well, that's too many champions. I know back in the day they only had 3 classifications in football, so it's a possibility there.
Yeah, the third class in private just started this past season because of the same thing. They had so much disparity between certain schools. They wanted to get them all even.
Right. I know they also talked about maybe the football season, maybe pushing back the season a little bit due to this virus, and maybe pushing back the championship dates. That remains to be seen, and also maybe changing the playoff format, reducing it down from 4 teams, making it to 2.
That could be a possibility. I don't think it'll happen, especially with Governor Lee not extending his stay-at-home order, safer-at-home order past this coming Thursday. I think that's going to give them enough time to get everything ready, have the teams practicing, and be ready for a normal season.
Right, and then something that they talked about, but they're really not backing it, TWSA is not, is maybe shortening the regular season, and they really don't want to do that because they don't want to take away home dates from the schools, because they count on that revenue coming in.
And you really can't do that right now because the schools don't have enough. Like, they have the 10 games, but most of them have like 6 or 7 region games they have to play. So you start taking those away, and it's going to mess with their flow.
Well, Matt, you got something to speak on here that I'd like to get out.
Right, I was going to say, if Dylan can pull up this one full screen he made, there you go. Josie Fellers is an Oak Ridge High School cheerleader. She's a senior, so she was getting ready to graduate this year. She was just diagnosed with leukemia and is in Children's Hospital right now, going through chemotherapy. Her family are accepting cards on her behalf. They posted the address on their Facebook page. They're posting pictures. She's doing really well, but our thoughts and well wishes are with Josie right now.
That's certainly that's pretty tragic right there, Josie. But wish her, nothing but the best. Thoughts and prayers. I saw that as well, and it's
especially tough with it being her senior year, and all of this is going on right now. Proms are being postponed, graduations postponed, and now she's been diagnosed with this. But she's a fighter. Her family are posting pictures. She's up, moving around, fighting, and getting over this.
Right, she can beat it.
Yeah, there's no one in this area that's not wishing her the best right now. Everyone knows she's going to beat it. Our thoughts and prayers are with Josie.
Certainly. I'm glad you mentioned that and brought that up. It's Josie, the Oak Ridge cheerleader, so everybody please pray for that young lady. But we're going to sign off right now, but we thank you for watching the Locker Room Chat. We'd like to thank Oliver Springs' new head basketball coach, Wesley Rather, for being here. Also, we'd like to thank the callers that called in. And Matt, it was good to see you. And
just glad to be back in person.
Right, it's good to be back, and we hope to be back again next week. And we thank you all out there for watching. And before we go, we'd like to promote this. This will be aired on September 5th.
No, this is the OEB Classic.
Oh, yeah, it's coming up.
It's Alcoa versus Harriman. It's going to be airing Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. on BBB 12. It's the Alcoa Harriman game from September 5th, 1997.
Right, Brad's been showing those games. So it's good to look back and watch those. So be sure and tune into that. And we thank you all for watching the Locker Room Chat.